Hey everybody, welcome back to Enjoying Retirement. If you've ever wanted to charter a boat in the Florida Keys but had some questions about it, this video is for you. Likewise, if you're an experienced boat captain in, say, the mountain lakes of Utah or the West, and you're curious about what it'd be like to rent a boat in the Keys and go out for yourself, this video is for you too, because we're going to answer all those questions today, because that's exactly what we did. So we are going to compare a charter boat with a rental boat, and I'll let you know the pros and cons and what my recommendations are for each. We're fishing this morning with Forever Young Spearfishing out of the Florida Keys, and they are fantastic. They'll do spearfishing, but they also do regular fishing, as you see here. So let's just jump into some of the charter pros. First of all, you're paying for local knowledge. What the fish are, their locations, their cycles, their feeding habits, and what the best techniques are for catching them. There is a lot to be said for having decades of experience at your fingertips, taking you right out to where the fish are and putting you on the best techniques to catch them. Remember, their success is based upon word of mouth. That's what they're looking for. All right, here comes my first fish. We have been trolling for blackfin tuna, and it did not take long. There it is. Bob is also hooked up. Hey, that's my buddy Bob. He's from Utah. He is an experienced boat captain, fisherman out in Utah, specializing in kokanee salmon and rainbow trout. But this is his first time on a charter boat in the Keys, and then tomorrow, right after this, he's going to rent a boat, and then we're going to see what happens then. So, local knowledge. They also understand the weather, the wind, how the storms will affect fishing, and how it affects where it's safe to go, and how the currents and tides work. You get all of this when you charter a boat. It is really good information because local knowledge takes a long time to build up. Okay, we are back to trolling. Unfortunately, the mono on the reel Bob was using got tangled up on that last fish, and he had a bird's nest, but before they could get it untangled, I was on another one. So Bob is going to go on net duty and help me out here. Let's pull this in, take a look at it. All right, it's not a very big one, but it is legal and it is fun. All right, I'm on again. So, local knowledge, you're also paying for their expertise in navigation. They are going to have the fishing spots geolocated. They're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of places where they know where to go, depending upon the weather, time of year, and everything else. They're going to have all of those programmed into their GPS, and they're going to have the routes pre-planned, and they can just tell the boat where to go, and it will get them there. That is invaluable information, and one of the key reasons why you're hiring a charter. Well, Bob's line didn't have time to get squared away before I caught this one, so he's still on net duty. It's another nice little blackfin. Not huge, but hey, good eating. All right, also with charter, everything is included, even the license. Yes, the boat captain's license covers your fishing license. They provide all the gear, all the bait, all the chum, all the water. They'll do the filleting, and they're providing everything else. And some things that you don't even think about till it's you're ready to get on your rented boat, like the chum net. Anyway, I'm on again, and this one is feeling much, much bigger. I am ready to catch a big one. Oh, this is exciting. He's pulling drag now. But hey, if you fished in Florida long enough, you'd know that as soon as something jumps in and starts pulling drag like that, it's probably a bad sign. And we're going to find out here in a moment. Look at him pull that line out. Well, even a good-sized tuna isn't going to do that. But it's a good-sized tuna that was being eaten by a shark, and the shark is pulling it away. That is what it looks like. With the charter, you're buying flexibility. They can do any type of fishing you want, and depending upon the season, if you want to concentrate on snapper and grouper, wreck and reef, they can do deep water trolling. If you want to go out, try to get things at the bottom, they can do deep dropping, and they can do any type of combination you want. Sometimes it'll depend upon how much time you have, and if you're renting for full day, 6 hours or 4 hours, sometimes that will limit it. All right, let's get on with away from the blackfin, and now we are trolling for mahi. the next step in the Charter Pros is helpfulness. You're going to get plenty of how-to, how to fish, how to do whatever. You're going to get advice on how to bring it in. And now this isn't always a pro, but you're going to get a lot of hands-on help. Look how clear that water is. Okay, we didn't get anything with mahi. Secret to mahi is the moon phase and whether or not you find a pallet in the water. We didn't, and it was a full moon. So anyway, we moved into a reef, and now we've got the chum bag out. Hey, if anybody ever wonders if a chum bag is effective, just take a look at this. That fellow there, that's a remora, and these are midnight parrotfish amongst all the other fish coming into the chum. Pros, they also know all the rules. They know the fish identification. They know the size, the limit, the seasons, and they will just give you a great introduction to fishing in the Keys. I'm yellowtail fishing here, so I got a little piece of ballyhoo on a bare hook, just trying to drift it with the chum line. In the meantime, Bob has a fish on. And he's got a good-sized fish right there, a beautiful fighter. Just one problem. That is called a remora. Now we're going to pull it up here, take a good look at it. That is a fish typically you will see attached to a shark. They provide cleaning of the shark, and the shark lets him hang around. And when he gets down there, you're going to see the top of his forehead. It's just like a big suction cup on it. And that's how they attach themselves to sharks right there. Unfortunately, he's not worth keeping, so he's going to go back. But that is about the biggest remora I've seen. That's a good 3.5 feet long.
He got bit by something.
There he goes. All right, now let's talk about some of the negatives with cons. You know, it's not much, but there is some stress. And that's from being watched the whole time. You know, it's unfamiliar gear. You're going to make some mistakes. It's just a little bit stressful watching it. But the biggest one is be careful. Don't set yourself up for unrealistic expectations. We're going to talk about this more when I give you my my advice after I get done with the cons, but that is probably the number one thing. All right, got a yellowtail. Our goal here was to catch enough yellowtail so that we could run back out and do some deep dropping for grouper, which I really wanted to do. Unfortunately, we didn't catch enough right away, and we ended up just here yellowtail fishing. We never did get to go out deep dropping, but that's the nature of fishing. All right, I let my line drift in the current with the chum, caught something, I let it take it for a few seconds, and now I'm reeling it in. Not sure what I have, but it feels like a good one. Let's take a look.
This is a really nice one. Great fish. Great fish.
And that's a pretty good yellowtail. It's not huge by Florida standards, but it's definitely a good eater. Now look what the captain's doing there. He's wrapping our bait with some chum that he made out of oatmeal and other ingredients. So what he's doing as he lets it out, the oatmeal kind of dissolves and creates a little chum slick around the bait itself with the intent of attracting more fish to it. And boy, does it work. All right, Bob's on. Let's see what he's got. Sure is fun fishing with light tackle gear. All right, he's got a nice yellowtail too. I thought it was a little bit smaller, but once we pulled it up, that is a good yellowtail.
That's bigger than I looked.
Yeah, no, he's a good fish.
Good job.
So I think that's our new technique is we got to get.
Okay, so now let's talk about what is some of my best advice. And the number one thing is don't set unrealistic expectations. Assume nothing and discuss everything, and I mean everything. If you think you have an image in your mind of what charter fishing is like, don't go with it. Ask and make sure. For example, who sets the hook? There are many charters in the Keys where the mate is going to bait the hook, drop the hook, and wait for a fish. He's going to set the hook, and he's going to pull the line up the first 20 yards or so to get it away from groupers and the rocks. And then he's going to hand the pole to you and let you pull it up.
Oh, that is a big shark.
That's not my style of fishing, but that is how lots of them do it there.
Any idea what type
take a look
that
here.
is?
Look at those sharks. They're a lot bigger than they look on this film. We were surrounded by several large bull sharks, estimated in the 10-foot range. Okay, back to my best advice. Also discuss What type of fishing do you want to do? Are you going to focus on the reef? As I said, go for snapper and grouper, wreck, same thing. Are you going to go try to do some deep dropping, get some more exotic fish, or trolling for tuna or mahi? Well, discuss what the fish forecast is for the time of year you're going. And discuss what the adverse weather plans are. If you got strong wind, are you going to change from the bay to the ocean, vice versa? Discuss that. Don't leave things to assumption. All right, I got my yellowtail and Bob's on again. Let's take a look.
No, no.
Yep, reel down, reel down, reel down. Yep, look right back up. There you go. Nice fish. You got a nice one.
Whoa.
Two runner.
Oh, that bring it in, bring it in. That is a good size one.
Did that help a little bit? See
All right, Bob got a blue runner. Most people might not be happy with that, but I'm thrilled because they make great ceviche and sashimi. All right, talk in general when you're booking, because you're probably doing it many months out. And then when you get 2 to 3 days before your trip, make sure you talk to the captain again about specifics. What's biting at that time of year, that time of day? What are they seeing? What's a weather forecast? And then specifically what you're going to be doing. Oh, look at me. That's a little tiny remora. Bob won the remora contest today. And my last bit of advice, don't expect YouTube results. What you see on YouTube is generally a really good day. Otherwise, people won't put it out there. Those are people who live down there, spend all the time down there. They know how to fish, when to fish, and they get to pick and choose the best days and go to the best spots. Don't expect that on your charter. You can hope for it, but don't expect anything. So just like I'm expecting this to be a really good yellowtail based upon the fight it's giving me, let's see what happens.
Oh, the shark. Look how big he was.
Remember those sharks?
Oh, man.
They ate it.
Let's get that on camera.
They
Let me
ate
know
it.
where I need to go
That
to
just
clear it.
goes to show what I said. Hope for the best, but expect nothing and you won't be disappointed. All right, Bob's on again. Trying to keep it away from the sharks. What's he got this time?
Oh, man. You're getting better,
Another
Bob.
big blue runner. That is fine with me and my wife.
That's
Thank
a
you, Bob.
good run.
I'm on again. I know the shark's in the air. I'm not going to lose it this time, so I'm going to reel that sucker in as fast as I can. Guess what? That's a mistake.
Oh, he's
I
out.
pulled the hook right out of its mouth. So do you pull it fast to keep it away from the sharks, or do you pull it slower and stand a chance of feeding those bull sharks? Yeah, there you go. All right, so that's going to wrap up our charter day. We had a wonderful time. Charters are expensive, but remember, you're paying for a lot of experience. You're paying for, in this case, a 37-foot center console, beautiful boat, all the gear, everything else. There's our haul for the day, and when you get back to the dock, oh, yeah, they're going to clean it, skin it, fillet it, and these guys know that this is an experienced captain, and they can expect some food. All right, so the next day, we rented a boat. We're going to take the experience we learned there, and we're going to rent one of these boats. Here's a local company in Marathon where you can rent boats, and they have a few center consoles there, ranging from 20 to 24 foot, I believe they have. And this is the one we're going to take. That's a little 20-foot center console. They also have some day boats on the other side and larger center consoles. But if I recall right, I think it's about 24 feet. So what are the pros of renting your own book? Freedom. Freedom, what, where, when, and how. And if you make a mistake, nobody's there to see you but yourself. Also, it's cheaper, with a big but. You have to provide everything. Now, the greater one is greater personal satisfaction. It just feels better to do things on your own. What you catch, you earned. It's not because of someone else's knowledge or experience. And remember, every day you rent a boat and you fish out there, you're learning a little bit more. So every day on a rental boat is a day of education. Every day on a charter is a good experience. You will pick up some additional knowledge, but not the same as going out on yourself and being responsible for your own success.
Nope, no it isn't. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Okay, we came to a spot where we feel pretty good. Bob's got his first fish on.
We are going to find
Yeah.
out, but
I believe that's a
looks like
mutton snapper.
snapper.
We're going to make sure, and we're going to
First thing
double
we
check
need
the
to do is
size. I
find it
believe
there.
mutton snapper is 18 inches. This ruler, if you ever see those in a store down there and you're fishing, it's fantastic.
You wanna make
It
this quick.
gives a brief picture of the fish along with
So I got
sizes, seasons,
15
limits.
to the
And
tail.
in this case, that fish is 16 and a half
16
inches, and the
to
ruler
the
confirms that, yes, indeed,
this-
18 inches is the limit. Just to be sure, I'm going to take a picture and use one of the various apps, or just use Lens on my Android phone,
Atlantic and
verify
Gulf
that
18.
it is indeed the type of fish that I know it to be, and that it is too small, and then we're going to release him. Back in the water he goes. No harm, no foul. Okay, there are some cons. You are now responsible for everything that was a Charter Pro. Remember all those things? License, bait, gear, everything else, local knowledge, knowledge of the weather, all of that, you're now responsible for it. And that becomes a little bit trickier when you get out there. Okay, I'm on. Let's see what I've got. Come on. Come on. Where are you?
Let's hope it's a mangrove snapper for a change.
It feels pretty good on
See,
light
I don't
tackle.
see parrotfish color. Okay.
Tell you what, that is a
enough
good
fish,
pulling
whatever it
fish.
is. Oh, same one.
And if it's not the same fish that Bob just caught, it is its identical brother. But snapper, 16 and a half inches.
take a look.
So we're going to unhook it,
Might be
and
the same
it's about to
doggone
go
one.
back. Okay, let's get back. Another con is unfamiliar boat and equipment. You're probably
15
not
and a
going to have
half.
been in that boat before. You don't know how well it's been maintained. You don't know how it handles in various weather conditions, wind, surf, and it just gets a little tricky taking something unknown and out into the ocean. Additionally, it's going to probably have a GPS
again,
equipment
that's a keeper,
that
that's a
you're not
mangrove.
familiar with. And
That's
out
a
in the
keeper.
ocean here, GPS is absolutely
Yep, a
essential
little
to get
feller,
you
but
to
he's
where
a
you
keeper.
want to be. All right, good for Bob. We finally got one that we
think
can
they
keep.
changed
That's
the
a
rules, so
mangrove
10
snapper.
inches is legal.
We're going to measure it just to be
That's our
sure.
target species today.
Yeah, he's 10.
Yep.
Oh, goody.
Just to look manly.
That's a good
There you go.
mangrove right there. So into the ice chest he goes. Now remember, you're also in unfamiliar terrain. There is a lot of shallow water here. This is a Top Shot fishing and navigation chart. If you go out there, absolutely get one. It's essential. You can see all the mud. You can see a lot of places where the water is 1 to 2 feet deep. 14, you know, your boat, how deep is the draw on it? You probably don't know. We didn't even think to ask, so be careful. And as I was saying, unfamiliar equipment, it may have a GPS on it, but it is not going to have any pre-programmed locations. Your charter boat's going to have hundreds or thousands of them. This isn't going to have
You did
any.
your trick. You went into a
So
rock.
be prepared for that, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. And there's lots of homework you need to do to have a safe trip. This is
think there
not
might be
anything
parts of
like
the
a
bridge
mountain
that
lake
fell
where you
or
navigate
something,
by
providing some
knowing
structure
which
down
cove
there.
you're in and which way the sun is setting and where the dock is. This is big country. We chose to fish under a bridge for our first time. Very safe. We
running
knew where it
again.
was. We knew where we are. We know there's fish there. We had an enjoyable time.
Nope, he's
We're going
still
to learn from this experience, and next time we go back, we're going to do some patch reef fishing. But we had to walk before we could get there, and now we're pretty
It's something
confident
bright,
in it.
but not
So we're
parrot, I
happy.
don't think.
Take a look at our chum. I mean, we're attracting a lot of bait fish down there
That
too.
might be
So,
our snapper.
you know, we're doing something right. Let's see what I've got.
Oh, it's a parrot. Dadgummit.
Yep, that's a big, beautiful parrotfish.
Yep.
If this were Hawaii, that'd be great,
look at
but it's
that.
not. It's Florida. And in
And
Florida,
I
you can't
snagged
keep
it.
aquarium fish, and that's one of these types of things. So back he goes. All right, my best
Beautiful
advice.
fish.
Ask about the GPS and fish finder and learn how to use it before you get down there. Like I said, it's not going to have any program points in it for you, so you can use the top spot map I mentioned before, and it will show you where the patch reefs are. So know how to program the type of fish finder and GPS device you're going to have, and that'll... I had made up some oatmeal and mackerel chum before I came down, so now I'm using the same technique I learned the day before from our guide. Mine's a little bit thicker so it doesn't fall apart right away, but it is still effective. So here we go. What is my best advice again? Have backup plans for weather and wind. If you're in a small 20-foot boat and you have 15-mile-an-hour winds, you may not want to go on the ocean side. You may want to head on over to the bay side. So have backup plans before you get down there. Ask them about the safety equipment that'll be on your boat. If it doesn't include a VHF radio and you have a marine one, I recommend bringing it. And that goes for flares as well. Some more advice. Double check your gear before you head out on the boat. Make sure you have all the bait, the chum, hooks, sinkers, line, and even that chum net. I had to buy that at the last moment. Oh yeah, I had to buy ice too. Last thing to remember, it's a big ocean out there. It's easy to get lost, easy to get in danger, so come prepared. But I tell you what, fishing on your own is a great way to learn, and it is a lot more satisfying than going out on a charter. Even though at the end of today, the only fish we could keep was Bob's single mangrove snapper. We still had a good time.
Not big enough.
So let's finish up and just keep watching. Got myself a little tiny yellowtail there.
Pretty. Yep.
Back it goes. I'm on again. Anything good?
Sergeant Major.
No, it's a big pork fish. But again, that's a aquarium type fish. So back it goes. Well, with that guy in the boat, we're going to call it a day. All right, now let's do the cooking part. Bob is going to make his fresh catch fajita nachos. Here we go. Hey, don't forget, you got to pay for gas when you get back.
Nice some up. On it, kind of stir it all together. I think I'm going to cut these shrimp in half because they're big. Yesterday, I don't know if it was just because we were hungry or what, but I think we handled it fairly well. Wind permitting, we're going to add our little concoction here. We're going to top of the foil. And butter. Get the pepper flavor in with the fish. Yeah, you're right. We're going to have a lot. Lid and let it do its thing for a little bit.
Oh, we look at the ocean.
Wow, look how fast it's cooking. It does cook quick though in here.
It's not a toy box.
That ought to do it. Okay, so I'm going to load it up with some protein here. I think we've got a little more protein this time than we did last night. More shrimp on there. Cheese on top of that. Some pico gives us our combination of onion and peppers and all that good stuff. Top it off with some sour cream, and we're going to be better than the local restaurant. There you have it. All right. You can't get that at the local pub.
Well, there you have it. A great meal to end a great couple days in the Keys. A little bit of charter fishing, and then we went out on our own, and the dinner was a combination of the two. I hope you got something out of it. Thanks for watching. As always, I am enjoying retirement.